Talking football now. What a day we had. So, to those who missed out on today's fun, it was the Premier League first day. So, the Premier League is back, and we had some interesting games that we're playing today. Some interesting games, I have to say. So, the first game of this, before we go to the one that is making the headlines, I think it's gonna be the best game of the week, if I have to say, because yeah, hey, there are a lot of things. So, the first game that was played in match day one today was the first game, which was Fulham versus Arsenal. So Fulham, as we speak, it's a team that is coming from the championship, and they were promoted through playoffs. So they were playing against Arsenal, and it was a good game. I have to say it was a good game for them. They did survive. They did play so well, and they did the best. I think I can say the best they could. But like we were saying with the people that I was connected with when I was talking, Fulham, they were not finishing their chances. They had the ball position. If we could even click on this thing so that you actually see what was happening, they had the control, but they were not finishing the game, and that costed them a lot. Costed them a lot against Arsenal. Arsenal, I don't think the defense of Arsenal was pressurized the way a defense should be pressurized. But even though, anyway, we can't take away from how their strikers were. Like Alexandra Lacazette scored the first goal in 8 minutes, if I can say, the first 8 minutes. Then Gabriel, the new signing, scored by a header from an assist from William on a corner, which was around the time when he scored was around 49 minutes. Then Pierre Aubameyang scored at 57, and nice goal and an assist again from William. So in all, we can say that William was the best player in this game, and as you can see, people are talking. I think he became the man of the match of the day. William was just amazing. It was an amazing game. Lacazette missed some chance. You know, there are just a lot of things that happened in this game, but it was an amazing game. But before we are going anywhere, anyone who's joining us for the first time, please do us a favor, guys. We talk football each and every time. Please click the subscribe button, click the click the button, and please don't forget to share this video with any other social media out there so that they know that we are back on. We are now online. So I want to hear what you think, guys. How do you see this start? Like the first day, how was it? How did you see it going on, like in terms of Arsenal? The Arsenal fans, I'm actually asking this question straightforward to you guys. I'm wondering, how did you see your team play, and what were you impressed with when they were playing, and what can you expect to happen as we move on with this season of 2021 season, a season that is going to be interesting, because we are going where I'm talking about. Let me just say that we are going where I'm talking about. But it was a nice game though for Arsenal, I have to say. I didn't see that they had a problem. They played so well. William shined so well. As you see, Aubameyang, but you have to see the goal that Aubameyang scored. It was just above this world. It was just too much. I had to actually talk about it somehow, somewhere, to try to explain to the world what a strike he kicked to score that goal. It was just, I don't even know, I can't put it into words. You see what I mean? Then congratulations to Gabriel. What a way of starting in the new season. They did so well. So they're playing against Leeds today, and of course we know Leeds. We no, they're not playing against Leeds. You see how Leeds has affected my day. They're playing against Fulham, and we know Fulham. And Fulham, the strength that they have is the area balls, and people like Mitrovic makes it easy for them to actually celebrate their goals, to actually get the chance to score. So I had my own predictions. Before I forget that as well, I had said that this game was going to end by 3-1. You remember I did show you that. I can also show you that in the end, but it seems like I went one wrong. I was also, my prediction was also There's a man also who I'm almost talking to here who also gave his own prediction, and it was the same as mine, who is Mr. Elliot, who is not connected yet, but I believe when he sees this, he'll connect. But I predicted this game to end with at least 3-1 in Arsenal's favor. And yes, Arsenal scored the 3 goals that I was talking about, but the one never came from Fulham, because as much as they had the control over the ball, there was nothing that was coming to actually finish up their chances that they were getting. So that's the thing that I can say. It's actually the downsides of this Fulham team. I think even Mr. Elliot did talk about it when we were in the watch along. If you're not with us, guys, we do watch alongs. I always try to specify them in the build up of the game. Like tomorrow, I'll be doing the watch along of the game of Tottenham versus Everton. So don't miss that. I'll be setting. What can I say? I'll be setting the reminder for the game, so that when it goes live straightforward, you can actually enter and link in, then we'll start watching the game. But like I told you, I'll be doing those watch along, and I'm supporting Tottenham tomorrow. I hope they beat Everton, because I don't want Everton to start on a high note like the way Leeds were like against Liverpool. We're gonna talk about that. It really affected my day in a way, if I have to say something. But even though it's okay, let me hear your thoughts. By the way, let me hear your thoughts. What are you expecting? How do you see this season going, just by the first games that have been played by these few teams? So the teams that played is Fulham and Arsenal. Then the second game was Liverpool versus Leeds. Then now the game that has been played right now the second game was Southampton versus Crystal Palace. Then Liverpool versus Leeds. Now the game that has been played right now, it's West Ham versus Newcastle, which I predicted a 0-0. I don't remember. I'll check for you guys. But talk to me. Let me hear, what are you expecting? What are your expectations with the way the Premier League has just begun? What are your expectations? How do you see this? How do you see this unfold? Like in terms of the Premier League, how is it going to unfold? All in all, because it seems like it's going to be an interesting season, and a lot of things are going to happen. So let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear how you are seeing this game going as we speak right now. I think, but what a game for Arsenal. What a good start. They are the team that right now that are leading on the log, but we know it. I think we were talking about the log, it will start making sense maybe after maybe the first 5 games. At the moment, it's just too haphazardly confusing. Nobody knows what is happening, but let's give it time. Let's see how it goes, how it develops as we are starting this Premier League. But like I was talking about, Arsenal had a good game, and we cannot deny that they deserve to be where they were. And congratulations to them, to the new coach Arteta. It seems like he just started so well. I was really impressed. Let me talk about the players that impressed me in this game. This was my predictions, guys. Remember them. You can always put that picture in your head so that you remember what I'm talking about. So I want to show you the players that really impressed me today in the Arsenal game, in terms of moving forward to the next games that are coming. So today in the Arsenal team, I can't say anything in the Fulham team because I expected a lot, but Hector is a good defender, though, even though he's not really doing. There were a lot of errors that he committed, but he's a good defender. He can develop from that. So that's the only thing I can say from the home team. And the keeper as well, even though they were beaten, he did have some moments where he saved the team, but you can't stop Arsenal when they're on fire. That's the only people I can talk about when it comes to Fulham. But in Arsenal, I was impressed by, of course, William. William was just above this world, guys. The way he played, the way he assisted the team to be where they were, he deserves everything. I think he's going to offer more. He has more to offer to this team than any other player in the team. I think Lacazette and Aubameyang can actually do a lot when they have William on their side, because William is very good in distributing the ball, setting it for the strikers to score, and he showed that very well when they were playing against Fulham, and that was to be the best thing that I can say. Then also I was impressed by Kian Tierney. Tini, he was really good. Holding as well. Gabriel, yes, but he was a little bit shaky. But the best player that I can say who deserved the man of match from me, it's William. Lacazette and Aubameyang. Yeah, Aubameyang was playing so well, but Lacazette not really there. I think he still has to come back to the to this one. But at the same time, one thing I've realized about the Fulham and the Arsenal game, it was like adults playing kids. I felt like Fulham were being overtaken. They were losing from each and every angle. Arsenal was just too much for them. So we have to wait and see what happens in this game. And I wait for you. Hello, say how are you doing, say? So I'm talking about the game of today. I'm just giving you a roundup of what happened today. There's still a game that is still live right now as we speak in the Premier League, which is Newcastle versus West Ham. Or it's West Ham versus Newcastle. So it was an interesting game between us now. They really did play so well. But I felt like their defense was not really tested. Like they didn't get the Premier League testing. But there was a game that was interesting today that we watched, which I'm going to cover next. Let me move on. You can always leave your comments. What did you think about the games? So this was the Arsenal game. Let me move on to the game of the day for me. I think it's the game of the day for everyone who enjoys football, if I may say. Anyone who enjoys and understands football. Oh, before we go to that one, we actually have to pass through Crystal Palace as well. So, like I'm saying right now, Newcastle are leading by 1-0 against Everton, and it's 61 minutes. So we have to pass through the Crystal Palace game, which finished Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0. So I had predicted that this was going to end at what is my prediction? Let me check. I had my own prediction in this game. The Liverpool game say I don't even know what to say. I'm a Liverpool fan, you see what I mean. So as much as I love the team, what happened today left me speechless. What happened today just left me so speechless that I didn't know what to say. There's something wrong with the Liverpool defense and they need to do something. Even the midfield, I feel like they need to add something in the midfield. There's something. I think they are too relaxed in the defense of Liverpool. But Crystal Palace versus Southampton is the game that I want to cover right now. It was a decent game where both teams were getting a chance to actually attack and try to show their muscles and what they can offer to the team and what they can do. And it became so... today was so insane. That's what I have to say. It was so insane. I didn't even know what to say. Like, if you were watching the watch along with me, because I was doing the watch along, I didn't even, there was a time that I actually went so silent, especially when it was now 3-3. If you can check it, I think the video is already there. The watch along of the game between Liverpool and the Leeds United. There's a moment when I was supposed to be saying something and I just went so quiet. I didn't know what to say. My facial expression was actually showing people that I was so disappointed. Didn't know what to say. It was just a crazy game. Liverpool, they need to do something. They need to change the way they are playing. It's just not like the Liverpool that we know. It's not the Liverpool of 2 seasons ago. I don't know, since after Corona, Liverpool have not been there in the game, especially defensively. They have not been there at all. Alisson, I don't know, did Alisson did let's do the watch along next week. Of course. Even though I'm doing a watch along tomorrow, be in the game between Everton versus Tottenham. You can check that one out as well. Then on Monday, I'm doing Chelsea. Chelsea is playing Brighton, right? So I'm doing that one as well. You can check that one as well. I'll be doing as much as I can. I think I'll set the reminder so that you can see it on the channel. Then you can always leave your predictions and whatever you expected. But hey, I think I'm talking Crystal Palace, but my heart wants to talk about Liverpool. Let me just move on to the Liverpool game. I think that's the only thing that I can do right now. There's a lot of things to talk about. I have a lot of things I want to critique and tell this. There's a lot of things that are happening in that game that we really need to talk about. A lot of things that are happening in that game. So let's move on to the Liverpool game. A 7-goal game. So, this were the goal scorers. Liverpool, Mohamed Salah scored a hat-trick, and 2 of those goals were penalties. Virgil van Dijk with a nice header from a corner from Robertson. So one assist for Robertson, and what a goal from Mohamed Salah, the one that he scored at 33 minutes. What a goal. And also the goal that was scored to make it 3-3 by Leeds United. It was just crazy. It was just crazy. So as you can see the position, Liverpool lost the position in the second half. Leeds United were dominating the game. That's why Leeds United got the higher position. Something that has never happened in a game of Liverpool. So it's really crazy. It doesn't make sense. I want to see Chelsea with new players. You think Juventus will play? Yes, I think he will play. I don't. You know why am I saying I think he will play? Cause in the international break, he didn't actually play. So he's going to play. I'm 100% sure he's going to play Chelsea. That's one thing that I want to see. I want to see how the chemistry between the Chelsea players is going to go. Like, how are they going to be able to work together to produce something, at least something tangible? That's what I want to see. That will be the interesting part that we'll be seeing tomorrow. In terms of, it's on Monday, so it's on Monday evening. We want to see what's going to happen there, and also Tottenham. We want to see how they will be heated out. Remember, I have Mr. Elliot here, the one that I was talking to. He's a supporter of Tottenham, so I want to see how his team goes. I don't know why. I don't want Everton to win. By the way, which team do you support? Which team do you support, sir? I'm just curious to know, Mr. Inkebras. Thank you. Which team do you support? I'm wondering how often Nathan Ake will play and how constant he can be at the top of the. Yeah. Oh, hello, Mr. Elliot. You are back. That's so good. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, how did you think about the Liverpool game? That's the game that I've put there. How did you think about it? I think it's the game of the week. I think it's going to be the game of the week. A lot of things to critique against this about this game. A lot of things to critique. A lot of things. Let me cover. And guess what? Next week, Liverpool, they're playing against Chelsea. Then after Chelsea, the week after that, they're playing Arsenal. Can you believe? What a September for Liverpool fans. It's going to be crazy. I support You Never Walk Alone team. Oh, that's nice. Thank you very much. So we are together with Mr. Elliot who support Tottenham. That part I'm sure. So we are together there. We support Liverpool together. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. I have to say. The game was one of the most crazy I've ever watched, and there is so much to analyze from both teams. In the Premier League, I support Liverpool, the Reds. That's so good, say. Yeah, there's a lot of things to talk about. Let's go. That's why I said I actually want to talk about Liverpool. I had to change it. Remember, if you had checked what I had written first when I set this thing, I actually written that Saturday match analysis of all the games that were played. But I had to change that and actually write it differently by saying that Liverpool 4, Leeds United 3. So let's start talking about Liverpool first, because it was the home team and also they are the Premier League champions. What they did in this game and how they did it. So during the pre-season, I don't know if the way Liverpool fans were watching the pre-season, Mohamed Salah was so low. Like literally he was so low. Like I was actually wondering that we need to do something. I wanted us to actually find a striker who can come and replace Mohamed Salah, because he wasn't performing so well. Like we knew him when he started in 2017, like the season where he was like on fire, and the 2018-2019 season. But today he proved me so wrong. I feel like he was my man of the match of the day of this game. He played so well, even though there were some mistakes. Those small situations where Salah passes the ball too late, or he loses the ball when you expect him not to lose the ball. Those things happened, but at least they were manageable. He was doing better going up front. He was scoring goals. He was actually doing something. So Salah, he was actually my man of the match for the game. He did play so well, even though 2 of the goals were penalties, but he did play so well. Yes, the Skype call. I'm gonna try to fix that so that next week we start doing some Skype call. I think that is gonna be so good for us to actually hear your views as we talk about, like, so I'm sorting the things out, but I'm promising you that before next week games we'll be starting Skype calls. I've already have my Skype number, and I'm setting everything up, and I'm still fixing my design so that you can, if you want to go the video call, you actually appear on the screen. At the same time, if you want to go just on an audio call, we'll just do that so that people can hear what you guys think. So expect that. That's what I was even talking about to Mr. Elliot, that when there are some interesting games where we need to actually include some people in the game, we can always try to do the Skype thing if you guys are free and you are interested. So, okay, the next comment was this. Okay, bro, the hat trick, he is a man of the, yes, he is the man of the match because of the hat trick. At the same time, I think he is the only second player, or if I'm really mistaken, I'm not really sure, that's saying that he's the first or second player in Liverpool history to score a hat trick in their debut match. I think he's the first player. Somebody's telling me the first. So this is something to be proud of, even though there were penalties. I did talk about it. If you remember, Mr. Elliot, I did say that I don't really like Liverpool winning with the penalties. But come on, I think with the way Leeds were like, I actually felt better that the penalties actually saved that, especially the last goal. The last goal that was scored. It was really crazy. At the same time, let me see. His top corner shot inside that's one of the best balls that I did see this first week. Remember I told you of the Aubameyang goal, then I said that the Salah goal, you need to go check that one on the internet, or how you were going to do it. It was one of the best goals that I've seen today. At the same time, even if the goal that Leeds scored to equalize, to make it 3-3, what a strike. It was an amazing goal. I don't think Alisson was going to save that. It was crazy. There are a lot of things that happened in this game. Now I'm happy. You see me smiling, but I know you're no longer there in the second half. There was a point when I went so quiet. Like, I was so quiet. I didn't know what to say. Because Leeds were like on fire. Like, the second half, Liverpool didn't play football. Leeds were all over them, like all over them. I think that thing that Liverpool did, that they just refused to give up. They were able to fight in, but also not forgetting that the defense of Liverpool is what costed us these goals that Leeds scored. We'll get back to that. I want to read some of your comments. There's something that I missed here. Let's see. Yeah, someday maybe with Elliot, you and me. Yes. Yeah, I think we can do that. We can do that. That maybe when there's a watch along, we just connect three of us, then we start talking football and see how it goes. It goes, but it's just something we are planning. West Ham versus Newcastle has 8 minutes left, and the Newcastle are leading by 1 goal. Oh yes, I did check that one out, and the one thing that I noticed is this. I think the player who scored is Wilson, right? I think it's Wilson. I had to run away from football. I think Liverpool versus. Let me check here. Yeah. I think Callum Wilson, he had the debut goal. So I was sure about that. He had the debut goal, so well deserved for him. And he's going to offer a lot to Newcastle. I'm 100% sure that he's going to offer a lot. We just have to give him time to actually improve. Although Leeds lost on penalties, they lost with such style and look like dangerous European quality team. Yes, I agree with you, Mr. Elliot. Why am I saying that? I'm saying the way I've seen Leeds playing, I feel like Leeds are a good team. They are very good. They are so energetic. They don't get tired easily. We did see them. I was looking at Costa. Costa used to play for Wolves, if I'm not making a mistake. He was a Wolves player who they actually dropped, and they made him go back to the championship to Leeds. And I think now it seems like Leeds have signed him like now is actually one of their teammates. He's no longer on loan. I don't know. We have to confirm of that. He's really dangerous, guys, when he goes fast. when he goes up front is really dangerous. Well, Mr. Ibra, I'm in Botswana, if I can say. I'm in African bots. Okay, let's see. I feel the same way. He's really dangerous when he goes up front. But let me just talk about the strike force. I felt like the first goals, Liverpool defense gave them straightforward to Leeds. The first goal, Gomez was behind. Trent Alexander-Arnold could not cover the space, and Alisson, he was out of the gate, so there was nothing he was going to do. There was a point in time in this game where I actually saw that it was really crazy. They were dominating all over. I'm talking about Leeds in the second half. They were dominating, and in the first half, I discovered something. They had 2 shots on target. They had only 2 shots, and all of them were on target, and all of them were goals. Leeds United. Can you believe that? That is just crazy. But either way, after 16 years out of the Premier League, they did come and they did mark their presence in the Premier League. But also one thing that I discovered about Leeds, they're a team that likes to control the ball. They want to start from behind. And most of the times I discovered that Liverpool were not really that serious to defend or to actually try to win the ball. So I'm just imagining to myself that if this Leeds United team play with a team like Manchester City, how many goals would City score after causing so many problems to that team? Because that team, then as much as they are good going up front, as much as they are really good in terms of their energy as they attack, they need to be very careful in terms of how they defend back, because that's where they were lacking. And we did see that in terms of there was a point where Salah and Mane were all over the keeper and the keeper had the ball. They want to build from behind, and that is going to cost them. So I feel like if they can change that, they could be dangerous, especially when they are playing with teams like Manchester City. And one thing that I've discovered, Manchester City could also suffer as well from Leeds because they are good in counter-attacks. Even though they didn't do a proper counter-attack against Liverpool, but those long balls that they were releasing from side to side and going up front, it was just crazy. I actually felt like we were actually in trouble. So that is something that they need to analyze and see how we can actually improve, how they can actually improve to stay in this game. But I can tell you that team is here to stay, and they're going to cause a lot of trouble to Liverpool. They're going to cause a lot of trouble. Hello, Mr. Mobin. Oh, wow. No, they didn't bought Callum Wilson as such. The team that bought Callum Wilson, it's Newcastle. It's Newcastle. Leeds United, they bought, is it Rodrigo something? I'm not really sure. From Villarreal. Yeah, they didn't. Mr. Elliot is even confirming with us. They didn't actually bought Callum Wilson. But it was an interesting game. That part we can't deny, guys. It was an interesting game. Liverpool needs to be serious if they wanna fight back to bring the title back again in Liverpool. If they wanna defend their title, that showed. I feel like, okay. Tell me something. I wanna hear from you guys. Where did you feel like Liverpool were lacking? Where did you feel like Liverpool were lacking? Oh, I'm really sorry, Mr. Mobin. I'm really sorry. Where did you feel like Liverpool were lacking in this game? Looking at what was happening, how can you analyze? How did you feel? I felt like Liverpool were lacking a lot. Where did you feel like they were lacking? Looking at this game, looking at all that was happening, I think there's a lot of things that we need to cover here. Liverpool needs to be serious if they are after this league, if they want to do something. Because I heard Klopp talking in the preseason that he wants to attack the league. But with the mentality of what I saw today, there's still a long way. I think we need to I don't know, how did you think of the midfield? Because I felt like the midfield, even though they were playing for Liverpool, they were not really that active. They were not really active. So Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold today didn't do as much as we expected him in terms of setting up the balls and setting and doing those crosses that we expect him to do. He was just so quiet. We had Andy Robertson for that. He did so well. The first corner, what a goal. And I was wondering that why would Leeds leave like Virgil van Dijk that open? How would you leave Virgil van Dijk that open to get an easy tap in into the header like that? That was one of the easiest goals that a player will ever score in the Premier League. At the same time, I'm looking at the goals now. Liverpool were lacking in a midfielder who controls the game, and the pace they played at, they looked exactly. Thiago is what they need. I'm still with you 100% there. I was actually talking with some people that I have here in the house that I feel like this is a game that just proved to Klopp that if we don't buy Thiago, then we are in trouble. If they don't buy Thiago, then we are not doing anything this season. They need to actually improve so that we can actually see something that we can talk about, because we are lacking a lot. We are lacking a lot as Liverpool, and we need to change that. I feel like if we are gonna go anywhere far, we need to change that. Something that has to happen. At the same time, the defense. What is happening with the Gomez? Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold were not even together. Like, I don't even know what was happening. There were some points, all the attacks, all the goals that went in the first half, they all came in I think in the same side. Oh, even the third goal, it came from a throw-in next to Trent Alexander-Arnold. It moved, then it went into the Robertson party, then it moved so fast that the Leeds players were actually more than the Liverpool players in the 18 area. Then from then it was a goal. And I was wondering what is happening here. Is this the champions of Champions League last 2 seasons ago and the Premier League this season? Like, I didn't even know what was happening. A team that had 99 last year, 99 points, and 97 the season before. It was just scary to actually understand what was happening. I was actually wondering what is really happening with this team. Are we going to achieve anything from this? It was just crazy. We need to do something. We really need to do something, I feel. So what is happening in the Newcastle game? I feel like I'm not really checking that game right now. I'm really trying to understand what was happening. And Alisson, I don't really know what to say right now in this game. Let me see. Oh, that 2 goals. Oh, that's nice. So Newcastle just scored another goal, guys. I don't know if you did see that. They're now leading by 2-0 in the only 3 minutes. I think they've been given 3 minutes. It's almost over the game. So Newcastle have beaten the Hammers. Another I can say another prediction that I made that just went wrong. Newcastle are winning, guys. That's the update that we have for you right now. Newcastle are winning, and it's really going so well. What can you say about that? So, how many goals have been scored today? 3 at Arsenal, 1 at Crystal Palace, 7 at Liverpool. So 7 plus 4, it's about what? 13 or somewhere there. And now 2 goals. What an interesting day. I think I have never seen an interesting debut, Dave, like this. I think it was really active than other days, because there are sometimes when other teams don't even score. I think because of the corona, players were not really they didn't rest that much, so they still had that form that they had from last season, and they're just continuing with it. That's one of the reasons why this season looks so interesting. But after seeing what happened today between Liverpool and Leeds, I'm 100% sure that Leeds United are staying in the Premier League. I had predicted that they might be leaving, but sometimes, these things can change, and they did prove me wrong today. So, what else do you think we need to talk about? Crystal Palace, Wilfred Zaha. What a game. I have to say, it was interesting. Newcastle, well deserved. I think they wasted some chances as well in this game. I didn't really watch it so well, but I did watch. They really did waste some chances, and it almost costed them at one point, but they were able to recover and won the game. Good news for them. Danny Ings. And we have to talk about the Crystal Palace keeper. I think he was the man of the match in this game. There were some point blank point blank saves that he did today that were just on top of this world. I didn't expect some of the saves that he did, but it was just amazing. That's why we love the Premier League. It always surprises you, give you these things that you're not expecting, but it was an amazing game. So from you right now, I want to hear, am I leaving anything from this game that I just talked? If you missed the Arsenal, I did talk about it in the beginning of this video. At the same time, if you want us to talk more about Liverpool, I think they just need a midfielder, and they, if it's possible, get a defender. I don't know about the front three. I'm not really sure. Firmino was off. He was not in his form today. Firmino costed Liverpool a lot of chances that he was face to face with the keeper and didn't finish the goals. So that part needs to be changed, guys, and I feel like they need to do that very fast, Liverpool, if we are going to go anywhere from this season. I'm really worried, and Liverpool needs to do something. What a day. And Leeds United just proved to the world that Marcel knows what he's doing and is not here to play around or to do waste time. He is after what he wants, and that's to show that he can also be one of those coaches out there in the Premier League fighting for big honors and doing some interesting things. So Leeds United are back after 16 years old, and they came with a bang by scoring 3 goals against the champions Liverpool, and they proved that they are there to stay. And they were so, I felt like Liverpool did let some chances go. There were some moments when we deserved to win this ball game, some moments where we had a lot of chance that we would have scored, because like I'm saying, the defense of Leeds were making a lot of mistakes, and Liverpool were just not finishing the chances that they had. So we will wait and see what happens in next week. Which team is Leeds playing against next week? That part I'm not really sure. I didn't check. Which team is it playing with? I want to hear from you guys. Which team is Leeds playing with? Let me check. Leeds United. Okay. Fulham. So Leeds are winning the next game that is coming, guys. If they're playing Fulham, they're winning the next game that is coming. That is for sure. So now let's go to my predictions. I made some predictions, right? Please don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Don't forget to like this video if you are enjoying what I'm talking about, and don't forget to share it on your social media so that we can get more people. So I forgot to talk about my prediction. Remember, I made some predictions, guys. Let me show you. I had said that Arsenal were going to win by 3-1. Arsenal did win by 3 goals, but Fulham, the way they were playing, they were not going to score any goal. I disagree a bit. Tell me what you disagree about, Mr. Elliot. I'm curious to find out what you disagree about, so that we can actually analyze it and see what, maybe you can actually change my mind, because I'm saying here because I'm a fan in terms of the Leeds versus Liverpool game, but at the same time I want us to be perfectly clear and to tell the truth that there are some things that we just have to accept. Liverpool needs to change, and they're just not doing that enough, and they need to do something if they want to win. Liverpool have most the player to win another title, but I think they need 3 players: a centre back, a backup striker, and a defensive midfielder. That part, I think if anyone agree, I think if there's somebody who disagree with you, then doesn't really know football. That is true. As Liverpool, we need a backup defender. I heard that they were talking about a defender who might come, but we don't know. Liverpool are talking about that. They don't have money to sign anybody. At the same time, midfielder, in the midfielder role, we need Thiago Alcantara. That is not changing. We need Thiago Alcantara for us to go anywhere next season. We need to sign Thiago Alcantara, so we have to see what happens there. At the same time, in terms of, let's see, a backup striker, we were linked with Saha. Then there's a player that we played against at Red Bull Salzburg who scored Darko, a Zambian forward who scored 2 goals a brace against Liverpool in the preseason. If you remember, if you heard anything, that's one of the players we were linked with. He's a good player, but we don't know how that will go. That's one of the players I think we really do need. Please don't forget to subscribe if you are joining us for the first time, and don't forget to like this video if you are regular like Mr. Elliot, Mr. Mobin, and all the people on their comments. And don't shy away from commenting, because this is a football show. We are free to talk about whatever we feel and all our feelings. Just set them down there in terms of the games, how you saw the game and what you're expecting to see, like what made the question that I'm answering right now from Mr. Elliot. So okay, like I'm saying, we need the defensive midfielder. We need Thiago Alcantara. I think Thiago will be the best player we can get for us. He will do amazing stuff for the club. We can actually get a lot of things in terms of how we can develop to the next season we are going as Liverpool. At the same time, you are going to say thank you very much for being there. I hope that you liked the video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you are new. That is very important to us. But as well, what else can we say? Tottenham have also been linked with the Salzburg striker, but he says he wants to stay for one more season in Austria. That part I heard it. When was it? Was it yesterday? I think the story you're talking about, it came out yesterday, that the striker was also, there's some Premier League, and where I saw it, they were just saying that there are some Premier League clubs who are also looking at the striker as well. But he said he's asking for one season, and if there's any team that is going to buy him, it's either they buy him and loan him back to Salzburg, because he feels as a player he wants to develop to be a better player, but he wants to develop, so he's asking that please give me more time to develop. That's one thing that we think we need as Liverpool, a striker. And Saha as well. Saha is like from is it Watford? Yeah, Watford, remember it was relegated as well. So we need to get that player. The one who scored us 2 goals against the Watford last season when we lost by 3 goals to 0. You remember? I remember that first loss of the season last season. And I think from then Liverpool have not been so well since then. So if we could get at least one of those, that would be so amazing. I heard some people talking about Brewster, saying that he can actually develop and be one of the backup strikers. And they were saying that we have Taikumi, Minamino, we have Diva Origi. Yes, we have all those players, but they are not exactly representing, like, they are not really challenging, like, for the jerseys like we want. Because one thing that I feel with the front three of Liverpool, if we don't get any player who's 100% challenging for the jerseys, they will never actually change in terms of the way they play. They need to be challenged for them to play so well. And if that doesn't happen, they know that they're regular, that jersey is sweat no matter what, that we are going to have a problem. We might not retain this cup if that doesn't change. Like, even though Mr. Elliot says that he disagrees. But we will have to wait and see what happens. We will have to wait and see what happens. We will look at it as much as we can. We need to do something there, because that will be interesting. There's somebody who's receiving a call here. Hello? Cool. So that has to change as well. So we'll wait and see what happens there. What do you think about Eric Diaz and how he has improved at centre-back under Mourinho? Eric Dyer. Yeah, that's an interesting question. So with Eric Dyer, the first time when he started playing as a centre-back, I have to tell you the truth, which was last season under Mourinho. It seems like Mourinho had an idea of what he wanted to do with him, and he wanted him to be the player who takes over the centre-back. And I actually disagreed at some moments. I said that, I don't think it will work. But I did watch one of the preseason games. I don't remember which game was it, where he was playing as a centre-back. And he was so comfortable, but people might say that maybe it's a preseason game. Let me say that, let's watch him tomorrow. I believe that Mourinho will make him as a centre-back. I think he's trying to make him as a regular centre-back. Let's watch him tomorrow and see what he will do tomorrow. Then we'll talk exactly how he can develop as a centre-back. Because as much as he is good as a central midfielder, he's also, it seems like he can be so good as a defender. I just hope that he doesn't forget that he's a defender, like what Laporte. No, not Laporte, like what Fernandinho did for Manchester City last season. It costed them a lot in terms of what happened to them losing this season. So I hope that doesn't happen as well. So we have to wait and see in terms of how that develops, guys. But that's the situation we have. So tomorrow, the games that are being played. As much as I want to keep talking about Liverpool and other things, there's a call. You need to answer that. As much as we'll be watching what happens tomorrow, I'm wondering what's going to happen between. Let me look at the games that are there tomorrow. I think Dyer is a classic Mourinho big physical defender. Yes, that's what I think. I think he will be so good as well. I agree with you on that. You know why? Why do I agree with you? I feel like he will offer more as a defensive because right now with the Sissoko, is it Sissoko? It will be hard for him to actually get a jersey in the midfielder. And Mourinho, I think he has an idea. I think he has been working with him, trying to create him as a defensive midfielder, showing him, trying to teach him the disciplinary ways of playing as a defensive midfielder, so that he doesn't commit those errors and fouls that will cost the team. Because you remember, most of the midfielders sometimes they do take one for the team, but if you do that in the 18 area, it will cost them a lot. What? So we have to see and wait how that happens and the developments. But we have to wait and see what happens. But I believe he'll be so good. He'll be so good. Let's watch him in the game against Everton because I'm 100% sure that he's going to be playing in that position. Let's watch him exactly against Everton and see what happens. But like I was saying, my predictions were off, like really, really off. I think some of the predictions that were I was close, and I think I have to say Mr. Elliott was also close in terms of some of the predictions that we did were almost the same. In terms of the Fulham versus Chelsea, the one didn't come, so the 3 part I was correct, and it's a good win. It's actually good. Ha. If we talk about Son for me is just above this world. He's one of the strikers I rate the most in the Premier League. He's one of the best strikers we have in Premier League. If we can talk about Tottenham, and if they can create the chemistry that they had in 2016 when Leicester won the Premier League champion, when Tottenham were the second team fighting to actually win the Premier League. If Son can do that, and Mora because he's fast and he can actually create some interesting moments, I think those players can be so good. I think that's one of the reasons why Jose Mourinho is only interested in improving at the place where Kane plays rather than the others, because he feels like the others are covering those points. But if he can develop to that point, and let's talk about last season, the goal that Son scored last season against which team was it? Was it West Ham? The one goal that he scored coming from his own half, and he went straight forward to go score the goal. That was just one of the unheard of games. It was just crazy. I think I can say it was just amazing, and I believe that he can be so good. He can develop to be one of the best players. He's already good. Let's see what Mourinho can mold him to be. Because remember, the son we were seeing, it was still under the Mauricio Pochettino's hands, and now is developing to play the tactic that Mourinho has set for him. In a way, I still feel like, according to me, I feel like Tottenham shouldn't have fired Pochettino, but it happened. We have to move on. We can still cry about the situation, but we can move on. But Mourinho, I think he can do so well with Son. Let's see what the new season they're starting together with Mourinho. Because one thing that I know about Mourinho, he's a winner. Even though he plays negative football or what, he's going to win something with Tottenham. You might disagree with me or what, he's going to win something with Tottenham this season. You will see. It doesn't matter if it is the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, even the Europa Cup. You're in the Europa Cup, right, Tottenham? I'm 100% sure that you're in the Europa Cup. But we have to wait and see what happens. Mourinho is a winner. He will make sure that they win something. Because I feel like for that group of players, for their confidence to rise so high, they need to at least win something that will actually create, to make them actually be ready to continue. And one player that is good, that I haven't been feeling so well, that I feel like he can develop and actually do so well, it's Deni Ali. Danny Ali has been so low, guys, and I feel like there was the first time, the first moments, the first games when Mourinho was back, where was now the Tottenham manager. There were some amazing things they did last season, and now I felt like he was going down. So let's wait and see what happens. Let's give him time. Let's give him time. I think he can do so well. I believe so. So Mr. Elliot is saying that I predicted 3-1 for Arsenal like I did there, and it became 3-0 because there was no any place the goal was coming from. We did see that as well. At the same time, Southampton, you had predicted that 1 Southampton, then you had predicted 2-1. So in other words, you're saying Crystal Palace was going to beat Southampton. Oh well, for you, you're actually correct. But even though the prediction didn't go as well, it won by 1 goal to nil. Me, I actually predicted Southampton winning, but they lost the game. Liverpool, like what you had done, we predicted that it was going to be 4-1. But Leeds had another story for us. They had another story for us, and it ended 4-3. So it's interesting. It's interesting. West Ham versus Newcastle, I predicted that it was going to end at least by. It was going to be 1-1, and it seems like it ended 2-0, Newcastle winning the game, and that looks like what you had predicted also. So wow, at least you got some of the predictions right. I didn't get any, but I was close, but not close enough. Let's see what happens tomorrow. So I think that's just the truth about Son. Give him more time. That guy is just amazing. He's just classic. I know he's one of the best midfielders or strikers we have in this. I think the best thing we can say about Tottenham, I want to see how they're gonna play with the Ancelotti's boys, Everton. If they beat that team, remember we'll be on the watch along, so you can also tune in for that. To those people who want to watch, let's see what happens between Tottenham and Everton. I believe Tottenham will win. A first home win for them, it will be so good for them. It will build up to their season, because I know this season Mourinho will win something no matter what. He always wins something. He always gives pride to himself as one person who wins something. Then on Monday, okay, the West Brom versus Leicester game. What do you think about it? What do you think? Do you think it's going to go like I had said, that I had predicted? Now, but looking at how the Premier League started, I'm thinking that I need to change at least the Everton against the Spurs games. I think I should say maybe 4-2. I don't know. I feel like these big teams are there to stay. I don't know. We have to wait and see what happens. What do you think about Mora? I think he is underrated. And he just needs to score more goals to be world class. Lucas Moura, I did watch him when he was at PSG. He was one of the best players, and he wanted to come to play in the Premier League. And coming to Tottenham is actually one of the best decisions he did. Remember the game that Tottenham played against Ajax in this season, where you went to the final of Champions League, where Liverpool did mess the game up by what Mane did and how negatively they were playing as a team. The game against Arsenal, Ajax, where he scored the 3 goals. So I feel like saying that he is underrated. It's just some people who are jealous about him. He's a world-class player, I feel, and I agree with you. He still has more to do, and he still can develop to be one of the best. Let's see I'm just curious to see what. Remember, Mourinho always has plans for different players. We've seen that at Chelsea. We didn't see that as much as we wanted to United, because there was too much frustration. But let's see the Tottenham. I think something can happen there. West Brom 1, Leicester 3, Spurs 3, Everton 1. Yeah, so I think, let me just say, I think that's what I'm saying. Spurs can be 2. We have to wait and see. I think this can go well. You know why I'd given Everton 2? I thought maybe with Rodriguez in the game and Decore and their new signings, they can provide something. But also, Now Tottenham have Matt from Wolves. He's one good player. We have to wait and see what happens. So with Lucas Moura, I feel like we just have to give him more time. I think he needs more game time because in the past 2 seasons, I felt like he lacked game time. And if he can get that, we can see how world class of a player he is. Remember, sometimes he has to fight his jersey. It's either against his son or against Danny Ali. So it becomes so interesting that it becomes so hard for him to get game time. But he's a good player and he will do amazing stuff. They need, if he gets more game time this season, you see what I'm talking about. Because Tottenham, that's why I'm saying Tottenham, I don't feel like they're really that bad as people are calling it in terms of how they are trying to predict and giving it in their own month, comparing with last season. Last season, I think it was just Pochettino was really tired and he was frustrated, and they needed new hands. And after coming with Jose Mourinho, there was new blood and excitement in the dressing room, and that if it builds up. And Kane, I think that injury that he got last season, he hasn't yet 100% recovered from it, but if he's able to recover from that, he can do amazing stuff. But like I'm saying, we need to give some of these players just at least one time. Let me read what Mr. Elliot just said. The Ajax match was one of the best matches of my life. I can remember watching it as well. Yes, I did watch it because, let me tell you, that season, the best games that I did watch of Tottenham was the game where you beat Manchester City. Like the time where Guardiola's City scored a ball and it was refused by the VAR as offside. The time when his son shined, like he was one of the best players in that game. At the same time, the Ajax game, those were one of the best games I watched, and I was so impressed with Tottenham. But at the same time, Liverpool were doing something as well. Like, do you remember the games that were played before the final games or to go to the final? I remember Liverpool were playing against Barcelona, is it? Yeah, Barcelona to go to the final, and Tottenham were playing against Ajax to go to the final. So the first game of Barcelona, Liverpool were beaten by 3-0, and Tottenham were beaten by, was it 1 goal or 2-0 by Ajax? But the comeback that Tottenham's proved, those 3 goals, I think they were scored in the last 10 minutes or 5 minutes. That was just amazing for Moura. It left Ajax so down. That dream team of Ajax, they were so down. Oh, talking about Dombele. Oh, okay. Dombele, that one is interesting. Reason why, I feel like your manager's giving up on him too soon. Why? There must be a reason why Pochettino had bought the player. Remember, he was the best player at, is it Lyon or Lille, where he came from? I think it was Lyon. He was one of the best players, and this was his first season in the Premier League. And you did see that there are some good players who takes time to adjust to the way Premier League plays its game. And I think Dombele is one of those players. If I have to remind you, let me give you a weird example, like looking at Liverpool with Naby Keita. Naby, it actually took him 2 seasons to actually adjust to be where he was. No, actually took him 1 season, full season, to actually adjust to be where he is now and where he was few seasons back. So I think that's the same thing with Dombele. I hear that in the transfer rumors that Mourinho is working so hard to try to push him as well. But I think that he needs to give him time. He's gonna provide a lot. He's a good player with the way he is physically. He reminds me of Lukaku in a way in his physicality, but he's more active. And Mourinho, if he gives him more time, he can actually prove a lot of people so wrong. So I think he just needs more time, but he can be so good. He can also be as good as he was in French league. So I think if he gets more time, Dombele, there's something that might come up. So it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, he scored exactly. Moura scored the winner in the 96th. I would love to hear your reaction to the highlights of the game. Oh, talking about that, you know what I was doing? I'm still working on something. I want to do something that I want to do, just a small thing. I'm still working on it. It's not yet done. Where I'll be just doing some reactions in terms of some of the best goals we have scored in the world of football. But the thing, it won't be live. I have to do it and then put it so that Facebook can actually what can I say? What is the word that I can use? They can actually accept if it's okay. Remember, there are those strikes, when you copyright strikes, that sometimes the Premier League and Champions League refuse you to use those goals. But I think I'm gonna be doing those things so that I put it under unlisted. When they've actually accepted, I'll premiere it. So maybe one of those games I might actually do those ones, especially the Liverpool game. Then that Ajax game, it was one of the best games. You actually see my reactions. One thing I've discovered in terms of football, whenever a good goal is scored, it doesn't matter if it's a team that you hate or you love. You just have to show the excitement and actually show your appreciation that you love what this is happening. So let's see what happens. We'll work on that, then I'll actually get back on that. We'll see what will happen. And also remember, there was something that was requested that I said I'm working on. I want to create a Skype call. Maybe in those reaction in the Tottenham game, I might actually try to connect with you so that we talk about it on Skype, looking at them, so that people can actually see your reactions in the live screen. I think that could be actually one of the best things we can do. But we'll keep working on that and we'll talk about it. But as well, I have to say, in Premier League, let me tell you the truth. I'm a Liverpool supporter, right? Yes, I'm a Liverpool supporter. But in terms of football, the teams that I love a lot in the Premier League, it has to be, let's see, Arsenal, which is weird. Arsenal, Tottenham, which other team? There's another team that I'm forgetting. Yeah, Arsenal, Tottenham, and there's a team that I'm forgetting. Which one is it? I have to think about it. I think I'll get back to you on that. I think Southampton or something. I'm not really sure. One of those teams. I love the way those guys play their football. That they give you quality football. Those are actually the games that I can actually sit down and actually watch the game and just enjoy. Something that I don't get from other games. I think the United game, as much as I'll be okay to share my fair prediction, I love the players that are at United. Some like Bruno Fernandes, we have to accept, is one of the top class world players. Some of the top class players we have in the Premier League. But I don't love the team because of the rivalry with Liverpool. Everton, I love some of the players that are there in the team. Like for example, the newly signed Decore, at the same time as who's the other one? Wilcott, I think. Yeah, there are some of the good players that are there, but I don't love the team because it's a Merseyside rivalry. But I'll always give my fair comments. I will never really try to deny or hide away. I'll give you my fair comments of how I see with the team, because that's how we should be doing in this. Because I am a Liverpool supporter, but the Football Connect, it's not a Liverpool supporter. It's a page which is just talking about nothing else but the football and giving our fair results and analysis of football. Any football fan also should get excited by the Ajax and Liverpool games. You see, that's how it was. I think it was one thing that is also lacking in the Liverpool team. We did see it. I don't think they are yet back in that point. At the same time, since Pochettino left, as much as Jose has been working so hard, I feel like Tottenham still needs to wake themselves up to be the back. 2016, 17, or the time when Leicester City won the league? When Tottenham, their chances of winning the league was actually spoiled by Chelsea. You remember that goal where 9 players of Tottenham got yellow cards? The ref made sure that each and every player of Tottenham got a yellow card because of how much Chelsea were like, hey, Eden Hazard was something else. One thing that I have to tell you, I'm actually happy that Eden Hazard is no longer at Chelsea. Imagine what was going to happen with these new signings. So we'll have to see what happens. At the same time, talking about Chelsea is playing Brighton. I want to see what happens with the new signings that have been done by Chelsea guys. I'm so curious to find out what happens there. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think will actually happen there in terms of Chelsea versus, which team is it playing with? Versus Brighton. Because Brighton, we know them so well. They are very good in terms of defending. They are literally one of the best teams in defending. and attacking they can shock you. But now one of their biggest goal poacher or one of their biggest goal scorers, Glenn Murray, went out on loan to the championship. But they still have some of the good strikers who can score. But we have to wait and see what happens, because I fear for Chelsea. The reason why I fear for Chelsea, I think they did sign a lot of players, and that is going to put a lot of pressure to the coach and also the players, the teams that the what can I say? The players that are there on the team already. We have to wait and see what happens as we look at in terms of the developments and whatever that will happen. But we will have to wait and see what happens there. It's gonna be interesting. So I think, is there anything that we are missing out, Mr. Elliot, or I think we can call it a quit? Is there anything we are missing out in this? Because I think we've covered as much as we can. We'll see. So the watch along game, don't forget, I'm setting the reminder right now for the game between Everton versus Tottenham. That will be the watch along game. But I think I'm gonna come live earlier before that, just building up on the games that are gonna be played. So I need to set a reminder of the build up at the same time. Then I set for the watch along, and my prediction is that I'm supporting Tottenham to win this game. I want them to beat the Merseyside, the rival for me, at least to try to make my week go better than the way it is right now. But rather than that, I feel like we have covered as much as we can. If you have any comments, you can always leave them down below. I'll revisit them, then try to analyze them for you guys, then get back to you with the comments earlier in the first part of this. The reason why I don't usually do that in this some of these videos, because you find that the comments that we get are like the ones that are happening right now on the live chat. Then we talk about them, then we move on from them. So that's why I don't usually do that. But if there's any late comment that comes, I'll go back to it earlier in the first part, then maybe look at it, and then we talk about it. Then we move on to the next page and whatever we'll be doing for the day. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. But as for today, Premier League is back, guys, and it came with a bust. And the Liverpool versus Leeds, it's the game that is gonna still be lighting up as the biggest game, because 7 goals were scored in that game. Liverpool were exposed. I think a lot of Premier League clubs now know some of the weaknesses of Liverpool after this game. We have to see how they can recover from that. It's gonna be interesting league. Remember, we are back again, and I hope we'll be excited to see what happens. So this has been me, guys, and thank you very much to Mr. Elliot and Mr. Let's see, what's it? I have a Mr. Mobin and also one Mr. I'm trying to remember his name, Mr. Inca, something like that. It's really hard for me to pronounce it. Guys, I'm very bad with names. I have to say that. I say it live on live chat, but I try by all means to get so good. But we'll see what happens. But thank you very much for watching. If you want to watch about the Liverpool situation, you can always go back. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share this video on all your live feeds or on your social media platforms. At the same time, there is a page that I've made. No, it's not a page as such, it's a group on Facebook which is called the Football Connect. You can visit it, then you join in so that we can actually discuss about some of the things that we'll be doing before we come live. The reason why I'm not doing that right now is because you find that there are still less people, and most of the people are down there, they're still shy, they're not really sharing their football, whatever they want to talk about. So if you guys could come, then you talk about, you come up with a topic, we can always come up and set a show where we tackle all the comments and the topics that we have, then we try to answer as much as we can. But that's all that we can do. But at the same time, thank you very much, guys, for watching. It has been an amazing time to be with you this whole time, and we'll see how we develop, because you see, as much as we are growing as the Football Connect, is still a small page. As much as we grow, we're gonna develop and have better graphics in terms of quality. I don't feel like a lot of people you actually agree with the quality that is the best, but we need to work on that as well, so that we get good cameras that can offer better quality, so that when we talk football, we can actually see each other properly. At the same time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and invite people who are interested to talk football, because that's what we do each and every time. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and share. I'm your host, and we'll meet again tomorrow as we'll be watching the game of Tottenham versus Everton. And my man is on Tottenham. At the same time, Leicester versus West Brom, and my man is on Leicester. Tell me where your money is. Remember, you have to put your money where your mouth is. So good night. If you send a comment, I have to visit to it and I will answer it later when we are offline. But if you want to rewatch, you can always go back from the beginning of this. You'll see what I've talked about the Arsenal game. Because most of you, I feel like you missed the Arsenal reaction. You can check it out. So thank you very much.